We've talked about which New Horizons villagers should be deleted. And by we, I mean I, because I didn't want to give any of you the option to decide to keep Bubbles in the game forever. So I didn't let you pick. I know how you all roll, alright, you jerks. This time, we're taking a look at the villagers that did get deleted over the years. The villagers that never found their way back home. The ones that got sent to the farm. Oh, okay, that got dark quick. Never mind. Who are these villagers? Did they deserve to be stuck in old games forever? And is there a chance that they'll ever return to our beautiful HD games? Nintendo has a habit of deleting villagers. And not even just the ugly ones. They get rid of whoever they feel like. Or that's how it seems. Anyway, we can only guess. During this video, we're talking about all the past villagers. E+ exclusive, islanders, the dead crossover villagers, everything. Nogami was nice enough to return a few past villagers to us during the 2.0 update. Not only did we get brand new, beautiful villagers, but they also sent us some old school ones that haven't been in the game for quite some time. All the returning villagers from the 2.0 update were in the Japanese E+ version of the game, which for those who don't know is a slightly upgraded version of the GameCube Animal Crossing that got released to us. Because why couldn't we get the upgraded version? I don't know. Some of these villagers were even islanders that weren't available to you unless you happened to have a Game Boy Advance to connect to your GameCube and had the connector, which was for some reason impossible to find, to unlock Captain, who brought you to an island. Definitely not a pain in the butt. But now they're back. These 8 villagers here are waiting to be invited to your island, or completely ignored because the 2.0 villagers are just so much cuter, let's be real. If you have a choice between Fret and Sasha, who are you going for? Not really a question. I went through all the villager data on Wikipedia and counted 75 villagers that have not found their way back to the game. The developers have thrown them into their grave with almost no hopes of returning to our lives. Which is sad. Maybe a couple of these villagers were your dreamies that will probably never show face in the future. But just because they're gone for now doesn't mean they'll actually be gone forever. Throughout the series, villagers have come and gone and maybe should have stayed gone. I had Anacati on my island in the original GameCube version, but maybe she should have stayed there. Something about her HD design in New Horizons just doesn't do it for me. Polygon Anacati? I'm all for. I don't know what this thing is. Like I mentioned before, most of the villagers that didn't return were from the E+ version of the game. And by most, I mean practically all. Champ here is the only Animal Crossing original villager to not return from the Wild World City Folk installments that he was a part of. Which is such a shame, because he's a really cool monkey. Bring him back. The only cool monkey we have now is Flip. Though I guess these two would be super similar since they're both jock monkeys, but let's be real, the monkey species could use a lot of help in this game. Besides Champ, there were a handful of other villagers that were never brought back after later installments. But unlike Champ, they weren't original Animal Crossing villagers. I'm talking about the crossover characters. Sure, we got our Sanrio babies back, but what about the other video game characters? Where are my Zelda pretties? Epona, Medley, Wolflink, heck, even Ganon? I have no idea why none of them returned. My only thought is maybe they didn't want to reprint amiibo statues. They could have created amiibo cards for them though, but they probably don't want to do that either. Or just deal with the fact that if you don't have the amiibo for them, then you don't get them. Let us take the crossover villagers from other islands in boxes. I'd be the queen of Nookazon, just giving away every Zelda villager every second. But I'm sure they didn't want a similar black market situation that Raymond created, especially because they didn't allow us to gift each other the Sanrio villagers. This is the only reason I can think of as to why the crossover villagers didn't return. Besides the Faunas, Maples, and Mollys of the world, these were my favorite villagers. We got so many crossover characters. Games like Splatoon, Monster Hunter Stories, frickin' 7-Eleven. Yeah, I'm not joking. The convenience store? Apparently a horse in the Animal Crossing world if you didn't know. Maybe when the next run of amiibos for the sequel to Breath of the Wild or Splatoon 3 come out, we'll see something? Maybe. New Leaf got a nice amiibo update 4 years after the game released. It could happen again. If they're releasing new amiibos, that would make the amiibos available to everyone, and hopefully more likely to add new villagers to New Horizons years later. Though, I feel like the reason New Leaf got such a huge update was because of the lack of Animal Crossing on the Wii U. They didn't have another Animal Crossing title close to release, or really even planned probably at that point. So why not drop amiibo stuff into an already successful game, and sell more amiibos? I'm sitting here with a bunch of amiibo cards from the original drop of these suckers. Some of the villagers that didn't return still kind of returned, just in the form of another villager. For example, Emerald. looking pretty similar to Tad, maybe a little bit of Huck in there, like if they had a child. It's just so weird that they take a villager that existed, yank them from the game, and then someone designs basically what that previous villager was and puts them back in, just slightly different. Or they take a kangaroo named Marcy, dump her, and create another kangaroo named Marcy. Oh, good job, Nintendo, you did it! Though the pink cutie is way more aesthetically pleasing than Gradient Kangaroo. Or how about the two Lulus that are in the same game? And on the flip side, they're changing up the villagers' names in between installments. Nintendo, you good? You need help? They dropped Cowbell for Cow Tipper, Carmen the Mouse for Carmen the Rabbit. Don't get me started on Meow and Bow. The computer-faced villagers, we already had robot villagers, but that wasn't good enough for them. They wanted straight-up computer-faced villagers who never return. Looking through all the villagers that never returned, they've gotten rid of a lot of birds. 7 of them to be exact. And there's still 14 of them in New Horizons. Not to mention eagles, ostriches, chickens, ducks, penguins. There's a lot of birds in this game. So I guess some of the birds weren't the worst thing to eat out of existence. Out of the 35 different species in the game, 32 have had a villager deleted. The deer, rabbits, and tigers have been safe from the great villager deletion of 2005, aka when Wild World came out and all the villagers randomly disappeared. Some make sense. They're a little more skewed towards Japanese culture, like the ones that were only included in E+ that don't even have English names, or the islanders that were exclusive to the island in the original Animal Crossing. Though we're on an island now, so it would make more sense if they would all come back, but whatever. I'll take human in koala costume instead. That's the one we got. New Horizons was the game that had the least number of villagers added out of all the previous mainline installments, which is slightly upsetting. I'm happy with what we got, and I still found plenty of dreamies to acquire, but I was expecting more. I know that there's over 400 now and we're starting to hit Pokemon levels of crazy, but I'm a greedy Animal Crossing player, and like every other Animal Crossing player, I'm never happy with what we have. But come on, we got a little screwed over. I'm excited to see who we'll get in the future, and who will lose. Think Raymond will stick around? Yeah, probably. I don't see Business Cat going anywhere anytime soon. But Bubbles? Ooh, I think she has a great chance of disappearing into the void forever. Hopefully, if anyone does get deleted after New Horizons, it's no one you like. I'd hate to see one of my dreamies go. Ugh, we're so close. And by so close, I mean not even close, but so far away from a new installment in the series. I can taste the plans floating through the air, and all the cute new villagers will hopefully meet. Just not this one. Just keep her away. Nintendo, you listening? Yeah, you're listening.